So now the recording has started, and I can formally welcome you all this morning to the revision session. So look, it's great to see you all, great to see so many here, and hopefully now you're all set. And by the time we get to lunchtime, I'm hoping that everybody will be. We just want to put your minds at rest, because I know a lot of you, it's been a number of years since you've sat an exam or done an exam, and the prospects of it are terrifying, and nobody likes exams. And to be honest with you, we don't like exams either. That's the reality of it. The fact is, and particularly for the organizations, the CMIIs and the ICDPs, if they are giving out diplomas, we have to have some value to it, and we have to know that people know the stuff before, so to make it a valuable qualification. Anybody can go online and get a master's if you want for a tenner from the Nigerian university or whatever. So just create the value, you do the work, you sit the exam, you prove your knowledge, and that's adds to the value of it. So that's really what it's about. And look, the exam next week is your opportunity to show off how much you learned. Okay, so I know it's all very well for me to say relax, and you're, yeah, right, you're not the one sitting here. It is important that you just relax and look at it as the opportunity for yourself to show how much you have learned. That's really what it's all about. And again, the exams are in such a way to give you every chance. You will get a mark for everything that you get right. There's no negative marking. So if you say something wrong, we don't deduct marks or whatever. So that is how the whole thing works. So what I want to do in this section, just the first 15 minutes from an introduction, is that you're relaxed and happy. This is an overview. Then Katrina will come along and she'll get into the collections subject and give you the details from the mock exam to a few pointers in terms of what might be on the real exam. Then we'll take a break around 11 o'clock. Paul Daly will be joining us then at 11. He's going to go from 11:15. Yeah, so break from 11 to 11:15. At 11:15, he'll go through the international. So any of you who are doing international, if you come back at 11:15, Paul would go through that subject with you until 12. If you are doing law, then you have a break from 11 to 12 and come back then, and Paul would go through the law module with you. We have a 15-minute questions and answers if it's needed, and we'll end sometime. We're not going to keep you here just for the sake of keeping you here. So if all the questions are answered and everybody's happy, we'll wrap it up whenever we're done. So that's how that's going to work. And alternatively, if you have 1,000 questions, none of us are rushing off anywhere, so we can answer any questions you have, and we're quite happy to do that. And for anybody who's watching the recording, if you have any questions on any of the material, just give any of us a shout. And like I'm around all next week as well, as is Katrina and Paul. And look, we're happy to help. And if there's anything that's bothering you, just contact us, and it's better to put your mind at rest. So that is that. So just that we're absolutely clear. So hopefully by 1 o'clock today, you'll be relaxed. You'll have a fair idea of what to expect for the exam next week. Go away, pick a couple of key areas that you want to brush up on, and learn the stuff as best you can. When we get to next week, what will happen is we always give you 10 minutes to read the paper before the exam starts. So what I will do is, and I will be at my desk for the whole morning and afternoon next Saturday. So what I will do, I will send you at 10 to 10. So if you're sitting at your desks at 10 to 10, you will receive an email from me that will either have the law exam or the international exam. Is that okay? So at 10 to 10, that will, on the button, because I'll be sitting here and I'll be watching my time, and I'll hit send at exactly 10 to 10. You get the paper, and the purpose is to read the paper. So take the 10 minutes, read the paper, And particularly for international. So with international, you get a single paper. There is a part A and part B on the paper, and you have 2 hours to answer those questions and submit that. And all the papers come back to me. So I'm coordinating the exams. I will then forward them on to the tutors afterwards. So I'll check them for completeness and all that kind of stuff. So read the questions on the international paper. And if you have to underline the verbs, I think the verbs tell you what you want to do. So we'll ask you, tell, show, explain. There's a word there. That's the important word to make sure that you answer the question that is asked. Is that okay? For the law paper at 10 to 10, what you will receive is the multiple choice questions. So the multiple choice questions, there are 50 questions, there are 4 possible answers, and we give you the 4 possible answers, and you just highlight the correct answer. So again, it's a matter for yourselves. I think, it'll be in a Word document as well, so you can just open it up in Word, and I think it's easier if you highlight it, highlight the correct answer and move on. Is that okay? You have 1 hour to do that. So for the multiple choice questions, that has to be submitted by 11 o'clock. Is that okay? So 11 o'clock. Now, just let me talk to you. And again, there's no Zoom, because people say, is it on Zoom? No, it's not. It's just purely email. We'll send out the emails. And what I would ask you to do, and it just helps me as well, if you can acknowledge receipt of the paper. So now you don't have to write a novel, just got it, or thanks, or thumbs up, or whatever you want to do, just to acknowledge, because I'm sending these emails out to the whole group, and I have no idea who's got it or who hasn't. So if you could just, when you get the paper, just acknowledge, say, yeah, receive, thanks, or whatever your words are, and then I can just relax knowing that you have it. So that is that. And if 5 to 10 comes and there is no sign of the paper arriving, it might get stuck in your junk folder, or it might get lost somewhere. So either send me an email saying, haven't got the paper, and then I can reply and attach it, or if you've, whatever. So whatever technical issues we encounter, don't panic is the words there. So get on to me and I will send it to you. That is that. In terms of the multiple choice questions, we know it's an open book exam. All right. What I will warn you though is, if you are relying on your notes, you will send your own stress levels up through the roof. Because the multiple choice questions are in such a way, you have 50 questions and you have 1 hour to do it. You have effectively 1 minute per question. And if you're going to rely on sorting through the notes and finding the section and finding the answer and finding the stuff, you will be stressed out to the end. So what I would say to you is, go through the 50 questions and answer the ones that you know. And you'll hopefully know most of them. And all you need to get is 20 out of 50 in order to pass. Just remember that. So I know a lot of people go for perfection, and yeah, we love perfection. You only have to get 20 out of 50 to pass. So if you do your first thing and you know 30 of them straight away, now you're almost into merit territory already. So that is fine. And then, when you have all that done, then go back. Now, you're better off putting in something than nothing. Is that okay? I've told you there's no negative marking. So if you haven't a clue, make a guess. Right? What's the worst that can happen? You can get it wrong. If you leave it blank, you get it wrong. So put something in would be my advice to you. And then make sure that that's submitted to me by 11 o'clock. And if you, and this is for law, and this is also for collections in the afternoon, When you have finished your 50 multiple choice questions and you're happy that you've got them as right as you're going to get them, you submit that to me. So as I say, with the law, that's in before 11 o'clock. Now, if you send in your law multiple choice questions at, say, 11:15, what I will do is I will reply and send you the long questions straight away. Is that okay? So if you wait until 11 o'clock, you will have 1 hour to do your long questions. If you send it in at 11:15, you'll have an hour and a quarter. So you still have till 12 o'clock. So the benefit of getting your multiple choice questions in earlier is it gives you longer to do the long questions. Okay. And I'll be sitting at my desk. Now, sometimes 10 come in together. It might take me 2 or 3 minutes, by the time I reply to each of you. That's kind of the time scale that we're looking at. So just to make sure that you do that. We got some really, the last time we ran exams was June, and we got some one in particular. I was so impressed with the answers, and they were all written by ChatGPT, and we know this because the questions, and just that you're aware of this, what we are testing in the multiple choice and in the long questions is your understanding of the notes. Is that okay? Your understanding of the notes. So when we ask you about, in collections, words or something of that nature, it's from the notes. Now, the answers we got in some cases were better than the notes. And I thought, God, that's very clever. I never thought of that. And we could tell straight away this was straight out of ChatGPT. So look, we are clever. And look, just that you understand what we are looking for, it is your understanding of the notes. Now, obviously, you can bring in your own experience and your own knowledge and your own everything to it. That is fine. The answers we are looking for are based on the notes that you've received. So ChatGPT, as brilliant as it is, and as much as we recommend it from a work perspective to use it in a vetted way, it is not the way to get best marks in the exams. And if you go into law, it will give all sorts of cases, and we'll know straight away that, come on. So that is that. The exam papers will be sent to you as an attachment, as a Word document attachment within the email. So that is that. So feel free to use that Word document for your answers. So for the multiple choice questions, highlight the correct 1 in 4 and just submit it. Remember to save it, because we have had a few panics where people have done all the changes and then come out, and because sometimes when you open a Word document within an email, it comes in as a read-only document. So just make sure that you save it as you go and minimize the panics then at that stage, and then submit it to me. I will acknowledge receipt, and I will then send you the long questions afterwards, and that is fine. In terms of turnaround, we're going to turn around the results very quickly. So what we will do is, the exam is on the 2nd. I'm hoping that by the following Monday week, that we'll have all the boxes ticked and everything, that we'll get the results out to you. And again, the results will come to you in an email. So I will just say to you, look, this is your results you got. And there's 4 levels. So a distinction is anything above 80%. A merit is anything above 60%. A pass is anything above 40%. And a fail is anything below 40%. And just to put your minds at rest as well, that because you have submitted your short tests, you've got 10 marks for that. If you've submitted your 2 assignments, you've got your 20 or near enough to 20 for that. So all you need is 28 out of 70 in the exam in order to pass it. And people who have turned up for the induction and turned up for the revision and engaged with the course throughout, and then have a reasonable stab at the exam, there's no, we have had some failures in the past, and there's always been reasons for that. People who think they know everything and can just turn up on the day. You know, are some people just have an absolute nightmare on the day and they just freeze. So please, you know, just relax and do the best you can. That's all. And then you might be saying, well, Dec, what happens if it all does go pear-shaped and I do fail? If that happens, we'll make individual arrangements for you, because it might be one, it could be two. Or if the world ends or something happens that you can't turn up next Saturday, you know, we will always facilitate people. That's just in our nature. Is that okay? So look, nothing to worry about. So just turn up, be there at your desk at 10 to 10, acknowledge receipt, show off how much you've learned over the last few months, and then return the email to me. I say the law short test before 11 o'clock, the international exam by 12 o'clock, the collections module, you will get the multiple choice questions at 10 to 1. So there's a break from 12 to 1. So at 10 to 1, you will get the multiple choice questions, go through them, submit them by 2 o'clock. And as soon as I receive them, I'll send you out the long questions, send them back by 3, and then it's all wrapped up then at that stage. So I hope that's that is clear. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop recording.